Hello good day viewers. As you can see, the title of this tutorial is mathematically written on the board that square root of 4 is not equal to plus or minus 2. And I promised my brother Isom Nofu that this is going to be the last time I'm going to argue about this solution. So the tutorial is going to be based on two parts. The first one is to convince you that square root of any real number is positive. And the second part is to tell you why we even have that plus or minus. Okay, let's get started with this one. From definition, if you have square root of what? X squared. Remember that this is always equal to the absolute value of x. No doubt about it. And what is absolute value? What does it do to any value? Whether that value is positive or negative, it will transform it into a positive value. So since we know that 2 will cancel the square root, leaving only x, but what if the x is negative? You have to take the absolute value of x. For example, if I have, let's say, square root of negative 2 all squared, despite we know that 2 will cancel the square root, leaving negative 2, right? But you have to take the absolute value of this negative 2, and the output will be positive 2. Therefore, even if you have negative 2 raised to the power of 2 under square root, the output will be positive forever. Therefore, square root of 4 is the same thing as square root of 2 to the power of 2, right? Where 2 will cancel the 2, but the output will be in an absolute value, which is equal to 2. It's not equal to plus or minus 2. But why do we even have this plus or minus? It can only occur in an equation. For example, if we have x squared equal to 4, please, you should understand that this is an equation. This is an ordinary number, a real number. They are entirely different things. To solve this equation, we're going to take the square root of both sides, right? This is why we have x equal to plus or minus the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is always 2, but we have plus or minus at the back. So this is equal to plus or minus 2. But why do we even have this? That is what many teachers fail to explain to many students. To solve this equation intuitively, make sure you have everything to one side. For example, if I have x squared equal to 4, we may decide to bring this 4 to the left hand side, while it is positive to the right hand side. To the negative side, or to the left side, sorry, it is going to become negative. We have x squared minus 4, and to the right hand side we have 0. But remember that 4 can be written as 2 to the power of 2, so we have x squared minus 2 to the power of 2, which is just difference of 2 squares. If we have difference of 2 squares, this is a square, this is also a square, with a minus in between them, we can always factorize them as x minus 2 without power multiplied by x plus 2 without power. So these are what we call factors in a quadratic equation, right? And they are factors because they are multiplying each other and the result is 0. So whenever you have two numbers multiplying each other and the result is 0, it implies that either of the numbers is equal to 0. That is the only condition that can make that statement true. So if we assume that this is 0, we set this x minus 2 to be equal to 0, which implies what? X must be equal to 2 here, x equal to 2. And if we set the other one x plus 2 equal to 0, it implies that x is equal to negative 2. So this is why we have this plus or minus 2. Not because we are taking square root. It's because we have difference of 2 squares that differs by sign. One is positive and the other one is negative, and they are multiplying each other and the result is 0. By setting each to be equal to 0, the output will either be positive or negative. It is not because we are taking square root that we attach that negative sign. Square root of any real number is equal to positive output. And I want to give you this assignment. Try to construct using any graphing calculator the square root of x. If you have y equal to the square root of x, please try to construct the graph of this. both the domain and the range will never cross negative axis. If we have something like this, our graph, this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis, right? Our graph will be something like this. It will be something like this. It will never cross this y negative axis. Likewise, it will never cross this negative axis. Means all the outputs will be positive, and try to do that. This is one of the reasons why we don't have plus or minus result. The only reason we have that plus or minus is because we are solving an equation, not taking any square root of any real number. I hope I do convince you. Otherwise, I think this is the last time I'm going to talk about this. Bye-bye.